They thought your time had passed, but grace just opened a door with your name on it. You bloomed when they buried you. Even heaven paused to marvel. They counted you out until they saw what didn't kill you shine through your skin. You weren't late. You were being seasoned in silence. You shocked them because you healed where they expected scars. At this age, you chose yourself, and the universe rearranged to meet you. They mocked your stillness. They didn't know it was divine alignment. You're not behind. You were hidden for holiness. You're carrying promises others gave up on. That's the threat. You look like delay. You are divine timing. At this age, you laughed differently, because this time you believed God. They thought it was your ending. Heaven knew it was your intermission. You were called too much, yet now they can't look away. You weren't forgotten. You were preserved. The glow they envy came from the fire they left you in. Your healing offended those who only knew your brokenness. At this age, you resurrected what they feared you would. You stunned them by staying soft in a hard world. They expected bitterness. You offered blessings. That's power. You look like peace. That's what shocked them most. Your silence wasn't weakness. It was sacred restraint. At this age, you no longer explain your glow. You carry it. You became the prayer your bloodline needed. They're not shocked by your rise. They're scared you won't need them at the top. You chose alignment over applause. That's when heaven crowned you. At this age, you loved again, after they swore you'd never heal. The ones who doubted you are now copying your surrender. You became sacred in silence. That's what startled them. They watched you age, but not your hope. That's divine. At this age, your beauty is revelation, not decoration. They underestimated your softness, but it was the storm disguised. They were waiting for your collapse. God wrote a resurrection. You didn't peak. You prophesied with your presence. You're aging backward because peace reversed what pain tried to steal. They can't explain your radiance. That's because it's rooted in spirit. At this age, you became your own miracle. They planned your end before they met your endurance. God preserved your voice for a season like this. Your timeline is not theirs. That's why it's eternal. You smiled through betrayal. Now they fear your silence. They knew your past. They weren't ready for your rebirth. At this age, you shocked yourself by surviving what should have buried you. You wore grace like armor. Now they call it mystery. You aged, but your spirit stayed prophetic. Their envy is loud because your growth was silent. The ones who left are now haunted by what they missed. At this age, you became the closure they'll never receive. You rose too slowly to be dismissed. They expected regret. You offered revival. If this touched your soul, don't scroll. Comment your favorite quote and subscribe for more.